flaws and all. Womanhood, sisterhood, and traveling through the worst hood. Adulthood. Conversation from a woman's point of view. This is the S.I.S Podcast.
Hey, sis.
Hey, sis.
Welcome back to our final episode of season 4. OMG.
Already? My God.
We did it. It has gone by
Put your
so
phones up.
right.
Put your phones up.
Right.
No Wendy's.
So this season, I'm not playing with y'all. No Wendy's. We have gone through so much this season. I think that this is, each season we just get better and better. And when I look at like the information that we're giving out, there's a lot of value in it. Mm-hmm. So we've talked literally from motherhood last season to this season, really getting our coins together, honey. Mm-hmm. Because we're not waiting on somebody else to come and save us, even though everybody ain't got no drink now.
She don't want to be
Big Daddy drink,
Don't save her.
Right. But to know how to do better. So today we're going to wrap up the season. We got something special for you guys in terms of our conversation. But before we begin, let me go ahead and introduce our beautiful sisters. I am Fee.
I'm your girl, Quell.
And I'm everybody's favorite TT. I ain't gonna do it because y'all been doing me all day.
No, go ahead. That's how she got to do it.
It's your girl, Queez. And it's your favorite sis, Jenny.
All right. So, ladies, we are going to hop right into it because, like I said, this season, we've kind of covered everything. We talked about credit score. We talked about houses. We talked about budgeting. We talked about just the ghetto in general, which is adulthood.
Yeah.
We have clearly identified that. Now, what we haven't really talked about is like perception versus reality. So as we talk about all of the money and we talk about what we've done to kind of save that money, when we look at where we are now and, everyone may not know your ages and it's up to you to disclose that if you would like to, but where you are now, is it where you envisioned that you would be?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
No. Not even close. No. I was in a whole different field. I was going to be a doctor. I thought I was going to have this, that, and the third. And now I am in the medical field like I thought I would be, but I'm a scientist. Now I'm an education coordinator, which who would have told me that was even a possibility in lab? Like they got education coordinators. Where is that talking about? So, and then now I have an opportunity to go into the IT sector with Epic and things like that. So it's like, I would have never guessed these things for myself. So it's so rewarding to see how the plan that you have for yourself versus what God has for you.
Amen.
Because he opens up things that you would have never even fathomed. Like, this is not the script that I wrote out for myself, but it's so much better. And it's so much more rewarding that way. Because it's like you worked hard to get to where you are, but you didn't know you was going there when you was little. And so, I just love that part.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you? What about you, Quell?
Oh, for me, no. I really thought I would be making more money. I thought I would have more money.
No, for real though.
Yeah, now for real.
Yeah.
Like, Big Daddy Drake do his thing, but I am not a stay-at-home kind of person. I still want to bring in my own money. I want to be able to match you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And things happen. So, like we have spoken in other episodes of, when he was down and I had to hold everything. But I want to be able to do it to the efficiency that he do it.
Yeah.
Right? So... No, I'm not. But it's working and I'm getting better. And I have my sisters in business. So I'm growing and the money growing. So
it's all a learning experience.
But I don't think it's necessary, also having more money, because I definitely live in a different reality, just to answer that question. But I think that my perception of what having money was very different from the reality of what having money is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
more money, more problems.
Right. Listen, Biggie knew where he was signing.
Man.
Because listen, I feel like I got more problems now that I make more money than I did when I was, busting and working 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18 hours a day serving and bartending. You know what I'm saying? When I was in that industry and I was working all day and working multiple jobs, I have more problems now than I did then, you know? So I think that is probably the biggest thing in difference in perception from reality. Like what I perceived money was is not the reality of what money is.
When I say I 1000% agree with that.
Yeah.
Because in perception wise, people will perceive that I make a lot of money, right? No. Because, like she said, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
The truth is, the more money, first of all, the more money you make, the more money they take.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's number one.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that a little louder for the people in the back?
The more money that you make, the more money that they take.
Because that tax bracket.
Listen, that tax bracket, baby, and that tax,
It ain't cute.
it ain't none of your business, but baby,
Right.
it's not cute.
Right.
And so, I'm not going to lie to you. If the people that put, the president in office, put him in the office, and the tax happened to go that way, I'm not going to be mad financially anyway. But yeah, that perception of, once you get to this number, life is sweet.
Ooh,
bullshit.
I'm so glad that you said that. Okay, so ideally,
Definitely
like
not.
growing up and hearing a certain figure, what was the figure that you felt like, okay, if I make this, then I know I'm going to be good?
Yes.
But I think everybody thinks six figures is 100,000.
Right.
People think you make that 100,000. When you hear six figures, they're not realizing six figures is literally 100,000 to 999,000. That is six figures,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
And so, but when everybody's just like, you got to make it six figures, six figures, it's $100,000.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the perception.
Right.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Oh,
If
right.
you get to that $100,000,
You making money. Yeah.
got there, surpassed that.
No.
Yeah. Bullshit.
I call bullshit.
You gotta make a couple $100,000. You gotta make
And a few
surpass that.
because when you add kids, it's like
multiple.
every kid add another $60K.
Yeah.
Realistically, you need to add another $60K to your salary per child. Yeah, because like I said, we're growing up where our kids they want to
Is that
travel.
60K
Net.
after taxes?
Net.
Yeah. 60K after taxes.
Which
So
you
that
talking
means
about net
Because you just signed up for an 18-year lifelong sentence.
So before
So
tax,
they get 18, you still got to take care
you
of
talking
them.
about gross pay before tax, you got to add on another 100K?
Yeah, well, probably about like 85K.
Yeah.
5K, yeah. Before taxes, because after taxes is when it need to equal to an additional 60K.
Because the kids, the extracurricular
clear.
activities, the flights and the trips, the experiences. Because I think we're a generation where it's like, that big money on birthday parties. Say that for like if that's
No.
They ain't gonna remember it anyway.
Yeah.
These
They
kids,
not.
we want to give our children experiences.
Yeah.
And that's because y'all so cute. Listen to y'all in harmony and y'all synchronized and all that. Look at y'all. Y'all so damn cute. Is that what a couple of days of staying together look like? Let me find our cycles and sing. Who else are
No.
I'm still out of that. No, I'm just kidding. Y'all won.
Neither do I.
Clearly this one don't get one.
I just finished. Don't put that on me.
I'm sorry, we took that all the way left. My bad, y'all. Let me bring it right back.
Baby.
No, but I am glad that you mentioned that. And I'm honestly thinking about like those people who like. Of course, a lot of people go with six figures, and in most households, they're not even making that. Especially the further south that you go.
Right.
Like it's harder to reach that six-figure mark. So imagine those of us who are, receiving 100,000 or more and feeling these pressures.
Yeah.
Imagine what it's like to be sitting at 60,000.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And
perception.
still being able to
60,000 before taxes? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but that's a real salary.
Yes. I mean,
That's around
educators.
average.
Yeah,
that's around average.
That's
That's
almost
what I'm
middle
saying. You
class.
can't, that ain't no middle class.
I said it's almost.
I was about to say, ain't no way. Because after taxes, you ain't taking home
These
but
are people realities,
$40,000.
but that's reality. It's like they're doing the best they can at this
Absolutely.
point in their life.
Yeah.
So I mean, to
And
them,
60 could be a win.
Yeah.
Honestly, let's break down.
Well, if you're in a different, I can understand that because if you're in a different cost of living, 60,000
In Maryland.
in the Maryland,
Yeah,
and DMV.
No, that's poverty, baby.
She the further south.
you went
you go.
Section eight.
Right.
Yeah, you Section 8, you had the poverty
Atlanta,
line.
you can still live okay.
Yeah.
You
In
ain't gonna be
Alabama,
going out
you doing
and
all
buying
right. You middle
sections.
class.
Yeah,
No,
nah.
you're not.
In
You ain't gonna be
Maryland,
buying
you had the
sections
poverty
or
line.
nothing,
In
but-
Maryland, at 60K, you had the
But you'll
poverty
be
line.
okay.
Yeah.
But thinking about those people who of course, and considering the housing market, because for our listeners who are making 40 and 50,000, it really, if that's where you are, then that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As long as
Yeah.
you're making it work for you.
Yeah.
But I'm
And
just
budgeting.
thinking in terms of like when we finally got to those numbers, because do y'all know when I first started education, I was making maybe 40,000. I was in one of the lowest paid counties.
43.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I might have been at 37. I ain't even gonna hold you. I can't remember. It was like really, 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 really low. But I was fresh out of college, so I ain't know
It's
no
money.
better.
Listen, to me, it's like I went from 0 to 43, so that's a big jump.
See, but that to me is wild because that was what I was making when that was the salary I made when I got promoted to being a manager in a restaurant, just just one restaurant. That was like the base manager salary, not general manager, nothing, but just manager salary.
Yep.
But that's
was
your testimony, though.
$40,000.
Right, that's your testimony. But
Ain't like
this was a
But
real
I'm like,
thing
to see that's what they pay teachers is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, this was
yeah.
years and years ago.
Yeah.
Now the standard, typically most teachers that come in with a bachelor's degree, they're going to make at least $50K.
Yeah.
You know, which
But even
is
still, that's
50 to
wild. That's low.
it is low, but
For
guess
teachers,
what? It is.
That's keeping kids 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Now we can get into this argument all day because I totally agree. You know, but at the end of the day, that's what
what it is.
most
Yeah.
teachers are coming in making. And in education,
Yeah.
it goes based off of your degrees and your
Yep.
years of experience. So the more years of experience, the more degrees you have, the more money that you're making.
Yes. Yeah.
There are teachers that make $100,000.
Yeah.
Like
I
there
know
are.
some.
Yeah. I know
some.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in Atlanta APS.
In DC or charter school, in DC charter school.
And then you're like a
they make
principal or
around that.
something.
Yeah, principals. I mean, they're hitting close to 200K.
Yeah,
you know what
they're
I'm
making
saying?
money.
They're really in like the mid 150s and stuff like that, especially
Yeah.
depending on their degree. So there is
In the
money
area.
in it. And when you look at the fact that we're out for 2 months, we work 190 days. That's
Oh.
190 days. So for those teachers who are making 70, 80, 90,000 for working 190
For half the
days,
year, really.
Exactly.
Technically, when you think
Yeah,
about
when you
it.
look at it like that.
Think about your PTO.
Right.
Think about that.
We don't get 2 months of PTO.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't get
So
too
out of 365 days, we're working 190.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? No weekends ever,
Yeah.
you know, unless it's a paid weekend. And anytime I typically work, like additional helping the school, it's at $40 an hour. You get what I'm saying? So they'll make sure that they compensate you in that part. But I'm just thinking like starting out, for me, making, like I said, I don't remember. I really think it was like 37 or 40,000. It was something that was, I don't even know how I was doing it. And then we were getting paid once a month in that county.
Oh yeah, I still
Once
get paid
a
once
month.
a month.
Oh no,
That's hard.
That's hard.
When I say you gotta
and
know
that
how
shit
to
was
balance
only
your
like
money. When you
it was
get
only
one
like
paycheck,
$2,500.
And
I don't know how I lived.
You say how much?
It was, I remember these checks being like $2,500 for the month. I don't even know how I was living.
With 3 kids.
Right.
Yeah. Well, at the time, it was only 2 kids because
You
it
had
was-
children.
I had children.
It wasn't just you.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how I was surviving. I really don't. I really, really don't. I don't know how.
Well, you know, the economy was a little different back then.
Yeah, it was.
When that was different, though.
Yeah.
You
But
had
it
to
was
think
also
about
a
the cost
two-income
of
household,
living.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he had just transferred down here and his salary was much better than what mine
Yeah,
was.
hold on, was that still Southwest, you know what I'm saying, Georgia? Because even the cost of living in Southwest Georgia is different from.
I mean, we were in Conyers, so yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean,
Well,
also,
Stonecrest,
like, even
Conyers
in
area.
the South is cheaper, but then certain areas of the
Yeah,
South
are even cheaper.
than other areas.
Absolutely.
So, okay, you know, we throwing some context and some factors in there.
Yeah, but either way,
My bad, y'all.
the
If you
point
felt
is
triggered,
that
I'm
the
sorry. I
struggle
apologize.
is real. Right. The struggle is real,
Yeah.
but people do make do with what they have.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
so incredible when I look back at the small income that I started from
Right.
versus to where I am now. And I'm like I just showed, like, how did I survive?
Right.
But
Yeah.
you survive off less.
Yeah.
When
Right.
you have less.
I
Yeah.
remember
But the
making
moment
work.
that we start getting that more money,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was
And then you
excited
sign
about
up
a
for more.
comment. Like when I saw a comment in my paycheck,
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. I was like, "Oh, I'm making money." I got a comment. Yeah. Just to know that that don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
They taking it all if you don't budget it correctly.
Yeah,
That
for
is.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
wild.
that is very true because I did, but you know what? I actually didn't personally wise, I didn't actually do more. I worked a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I
me
mean?
too.
Because all I did, because when I had less, I think I was more conscientious of what I was spending and like how I spent. So I did a lot less. I didn't even consider, it wasn't even remotely a thing to do more or to think about spending more, because I'm like, I ain't got all I do is work. You know what I'm saying? As long as I'm working, you know what I mean? Like the money coming in, but all I could focus on was working to make the money.
Right.
Then once I got to a place making the money, now I'm like, okay, I can move a little different. I can do a little more.
I could do a little more.
But now I'm like, hold up, where my money?
Yeah.
Hey, I thought I had more. Why I feel like I got less? And you know I got more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we are literally spending more, which is crazy. So what's one of those things that you found yourself when you go back and you look at what you spend the most money on, you be like, God damn it, I gotta do better. What is
Bro, food, restaurants.
I love food, man.
Restaurants, man. Going out to restaurants.
Really?
Going out to restaurants. Yeah, like, because...
But you a single woman. Why you spending money on restaurants?
Listen.
Because...
Listen.
Because
I'm a food dater.
Okay.
You gonna take me out to eat?
Because...
Exactly.
Because,
I can make me a jelly sandwich.
First, let me just say, first of all, y'all women are blessed.
So are you, bitch? You see that ass?
The day
ass set.
okay, see, it's
That
different.
means free 5-star meal.
Listen. The dating scene is different because men are crazy, and like the way my attitude is set up, the way my anxiety and things are set up, like I'd be hyper vigilant, you know what I mean, about everything, because I have been in situations where, you know, when I was in the service industry and like men would stalk me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I would have to be walked to my car by, you know, the men in the kitchen to make sure that I was safe and wouldn't nobody following me home. I have been in those situations with crazy, you know, men that think, you know, that, because they spend a little money on you.
Yeah,
now you own them.
Yeah, now that's
you
very
know what
true.
I'm saying? So
okay, I digress, y'all. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Mindset and like men really be like, you know, because on top of that, it's not even just that. So you got to deal with them men that feel like they owe you something. On top of that, or on top of the fact, you got to deal with the men that they want to be the bad in the relationship. They want to be the soft girl. You know what I'm saying? They come in. They don't want to be a man.
Mama.
Yeah,
Because you look like money.
They want you to be the sugar mama.
Like
They want you to treat. Then they'll be like, okay, well, I took you out on this date, so when you taking me out? No. When you doing this for me? When you cooking for me? when you spending this on me? No. Excuse me, sir?
So at what point do y'all spoil y'all men?
Yes,
I spoil a man that deserve it.
Absolutely,
yeah.
If he got to give
by any means.
You know what I'm saying?
Because he's earning that right.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to earn.
That's a privilege.
Yeah, but at what point does it become where you want to spoil them?
Absolutely will.
Like, when does that happen?
When you feel safe in your relationship.
Exactly.
Like when your man allows you to be.
Say that.
What?
You not cheat. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's your experience?
Yeah. I feel like when your man makes you feel like the feminine woman that you want to be, and like you feel safe in the fact that, like, for me, you know, I had to feel safe because I had a long distance relationship.
Oh yeah,
like
girl,
real long distance. We in different countries, different time zones,
and separation.
Listen,
for real.
To have me think that my man was out cheating or anything like, he would have literally had to take my body, put it in front of his bed, and I would have to watch the penis go in the vagina.
Right.
That's how much trust and safety that I felt with my man.
I
you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, it's nothing to be like, babe, today, Big Mama got it.
It's something.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we going here.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first like big things I did is like I took him on a trip to Kenya.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it was like he went to school there, and I know he hadn't been anywhere like that. And it was just like the way he loves on me and makes me feel secure.
Can I be your boyfriend?
And it was a surprise. Like literally, it was just like, pack your bags, meet me at the airport. And it was like all his friends was on it, and he's giving like,
See, that's how you blow a nigga mind right there. That's how you keep it.
So cute.
But when you
I
do stuff like that, you already know, because it's not like my husband had it like this or like that. But then when he got it, baby,
it was
soft
reciprocated.
life. And it's like, I know that as he continues to get more and more and more and more and more, baby. I's the baby.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Let me correct when I made the, they're like,
right.
It's not, and because I was originally agreeing and saying yes, because yes, I agree with that, because he, when a man makes you feel safe in your femininity, but I had to get to that because I was in the opposite situation, which was a toxic, right? Because
You've
me
been
being
very dominant for a long time.
Yeah, and then, but also me being a giver and being selfless and just wanting to do, when you a lover, when you love, like I love all in. I'm all in, like all in deep. But the person I was all in deep with, because I took, my ex out on a vacate. Like I took him to Miami, then I took him to Mexico. Then I, and all of that for his birthday. I did big things. Never didn't get it returned. But like, so yeah. I aspire now to be, I've shifted my perception, and now I'm
one of them.
Yeah. You gotta earn it. Right. You gotta earn it.
For me,
Girl, Big Daddy Drake gonna come down here. Big Daddy Drake gonna come down there and snatch all of us together.
Right. For me, I like to spoil my husband because of just how he loved me. Like I was going down a path before I met him that I really felt like all niggas ain't shit. And I wanted to be a traveling nurse, and I was gonna have me a nigga in every travel. That's where I was going, and God was like, "No, you ain't."
Yeah, right.
I have some. It's not many. It's very few, and I feel like he is he really make me believe that it's better. And I used to not believe that there was one person for you. I was like, nah, because if something happened to this nigga, God gonna be like, I got
and then HR will know that.
I'm like,
replacements happen quickly.
I do. Like, I know if something happened, like, in the case of like something really happened bad and we have to separate, then I can, possibly move on. But I really be like, what would I do if I wasn't in God's arms? Like, But just the way that he loved me, the way that he has poured into me and been there for me, it's like I just love to reciprocate that.
Girl, that man had a whole T-shirt with your face on it.
What?
I said, she said, don't you start that shit. Hello.
Bruh.
It makes you different. It makes you softer.
That other men just can't compete with right now. They just need to, unless they get a shirt.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for my shirt.
Now all of them gotta have a shirt on. Because at this point, what are we doing?
Where's my shirt? Where's my shirt?
What you trying to say?
Let them know I love her.
Right. You hear me?
And when you experience some shit like that, you can't go back. No. They make you be like, you can't go back to shit.
No.
What?
Yeah, the standards hit different.
I didn't even experience that, and I'm like, Lord, I see what you have done for others, Lord.
Like, don't
and do it for me.
You see your girl. You see your girl.
You see those red flags quick when you get something like that. Because, the red flags jump out at you like, hold on, you gonna stop. Because you already know that's not what you deserve. Because you done have better, you should know better. So you gonna do better. And so when I met my big T, like I was like,
big T.
I was on some running stuff, and me and Jenny.
I'm a runner.
I was a runner. I was track star because he was so different. Yeah, that's what we did. I had never experienced something like that. Like to have a man that's like the alpha male, and he like, no, we doing this, and you gonna follow it. And I'm like, hold on, I'm an independent woman. What you mean?
And I said, calm down.
Yeah,
that's Big Daddy.
Right.
Yeah. Lock it in.
But
you have to have those friends that has vision. You have to have those friends that's like this.
And Jenny is that friend for me but it was wild.
That's aggressive.
And I had only been dating this guy. Like I literally had met him in March. We went on the cruise in June.
You right?
He had just made me a girlfriend and met.
Pushing me out there.
And so I'm like, okay, we only a few months in. So I'm like, I don't really know. We still feeling it out. And she's like, no, this is Big Daddy. you gonna do it. And I'm like,
between you and them claps and that fan.
get your attention. But that's why I do have to get my attention together because
God been talking to me to listen. He
really did
for her. Like he said,
well, when he gonna pass you
please, you talk to God. Listen, I only do what he tell me to tell them to do. Okay. He said that's it.
And she was 100% right. And I didn't even see it at that point. And I ran.
You the whisperer. Like, if you can do it for them, do it for me.
And when I tell you because we had the relationship where I knew when she said it like that, I knew to listen. Yeah. Like it was certain times where she said things to me that I was like, I had like with my baby, I was like, she said, take that pregnancy test. I was like, okay, I had to listen. With that situation, I was fighting it.
Yeah, she was
and
real bad.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen because I'm not the person that I thought I was, at that point in time, I was like, submission? I'm listening to this dude I don't know for real. I don't even know him. How can I trust him like that? She was like, no.
And past relationship traumas, you know, it affects you in that way. You're like,
absolutely. Especially coming from a toxic relationship previously. How do I allow somebody to guide me and I don't know if he can't even do that?
Yeah. That part.
Like, that is
like, where are you guiding me to?
Right. Yeah. And then it's off the cliff.
You can't drive me off the cliff.
Because I can't. Right.
And then we're logical people. Like, Sagittarius are very, very logical. We think here first.
We think,
and if it don't make sense,
steps ahead, we ain't doing it.
We ain't doing it.
Then you got friends like that to combat our logical thinking.
Yeah,
be like,
with emotional, because
Cancer is logical too, but we're emotional along with logical.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be. You're supposed to have three types of intelligence.
Yeah,
emotional intelligence, regular intelligence, which is logical. Okay? And then you have to have spiritual intelligence.
Right.
Those three things work together to keep us.
Yeah,
and to protect us from things that we're not supposed to endure.
Yeah.
So I am glad that while you carried the logic, she carried the emotion, and then together you were able to release it for that spiritual guidance that brought you.
Okay,
and he never gave me any reason to doubt that.
Right.
So when we made those transitions that I talked about in our last episode about us moving to those different houses and stuff, even though in my spirit I was like, oh, I don't know about this. This don't sound like a good calculation.
Right.
I'm like, because he's earned that trust. Because he never did anything that made me feel like I can't trust him or that he's not making the right decision for us.
Earned
like
trust.
he earned it.
Right.
That's the reason he could be my boyfriend and still be her husband.
And and in turn, it caused me to find that sensitivity and that submission that I don't get to show to the outside world. Because to the outside world, I am the independent, I'm the enforcer. You're going to do what I say because I know what I'm doing. But at home, I'm like, what you need me to do?
And watching your friend and her stalker era,
I'm so soft at home.
I'm
so soft at home.
I love it. I love to see her like that because when you see what your friends and your sisters have gone through, and then you can finally see them in like just flourishing in their womanhood. Like my baby, like she a baby.
Real question: can we be too spoiled?
No.
For me, it was a point I was too spoiled. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I was like a little brat. I'm better now.
Maybe you can say that because you've been spoiled.
I was like a brat.
I ain't been
like
spoiled.
He couldn't say no.
No,
he would always
because they're not
say,
supposed to say no.
Because I earned it.
Yeah, I ain't been spoiled, so I don't know. To me, that there's no such thing. Maybe when I've been spoiled,
like not today.
I can say it's
I like not.
But we know how to put limits on the spoil.
Bring me where I wanted to go.
Right.
So it's not that you can be too spoiled. It's just how do you react to being spoiled.
Yeah.
It's getting that attitude together.
But if he made you that way.
No. What I'm saying is that continue to bring on the spoil, but don't be bratty with it.
Yeah.
Be appreciative, and the spoil continues to come.
Have your limits. Yeah. Like you gotta know when to cut it off.
When it's like,
it'd
be okay, I did too much. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Running back.
Year 3 of marriage, he was like, this bitch.
Yeah.
It created monster though.
And now he like, oh, she a big girl.
Yes, I think I really like the whole baby feel. Like seriously, like take care of me.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like, especially because we're really in an era of when you listen to the rappers that's out now, honey, everybody all about not just selling their cooch, but literally it's been independence all this entire time, or getting to the money and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes it is hard for a man to find his place amongst all of us wanting to be so driven to have our own. How do you really compromise with that, where it's like you have your own, but you still don't take away from them wanting to do what they want to do for you? Where do we draw the line there? Or is there a line drawn in the first place?
Can you say that again? Like, rephrase that for me, because I ain't catch it.
It's okay. So, because honestly, it was several thoughts in one sentence, because my mind frame automatically went from, right now, it's a big push for like independence. Oh, I can do this. I got money.
Go get another degree.
You know, exactly. So, and most of us grew up in households where we saw the woman being the strongest person. You know, so moving from being so strong to being in a relationship where I'm hearing that you guys are like submissive and all that kind of stuff. How do you find yourself being able to just relinquish your power in order to allow him to be the man that he wants to be for you?
It's earned. He has to earn that right, because it is hard, and he has to have the mentality to allow you to break those walls down, because it's all a safeguard. You're building those walls up because you're like, you don't want to be in the previous position you was in before, because you don't like that feeling.
You don't want them to abuse it.
Yeah. And so once he starts to take down each brick, and he starts to put that time in, and you see how he reacts when you do certain things, when you saw others react a certain way that you didn't like, he's doing the opposite of that. He's understanding y'all have these conversations. You're able to say, okay, let me calm it down a little bit. Okay, I ain't gonna do that. Okay, I'm not gonna get too mad when he asks me to do this. Because there's been times when he's asked me, I just laid my head down. He said, Chris, I want something to drink. And I'm like, I used to get mad. I was like, you can go get it yourself. I just laid down. I used to go back at him, and I was like, you know what? Why can't I go get it?
Listen, because then you think about,
why not?
Oh, he paid the mortgage. Let me go ahead.
Yeah, and now we said, Queez,
he just bought me something.
Okay, let me go get it.
Get that drink.
I'm going down to go get it without a second thought, because it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Why should I deprive him of that?
See, I want to get there. I really do.
Like,
I pray for that for me, but it's hard.
It takes time.
It's
It does
hard
take
because
time.
when you've been a giver and it's been taken advantage of, and you know,
That's
you
why I think they say it's
believe
earned, though.
like it's the trust because you know, you don't want to be taken advantage of.
Exactly.
And,
or feel like you being gullible.
Yeah, or
the
being
key
gullible. Or somebody take advantage, like you trust.
Yeah.
And then you trusted somebody, took you right off a damn cliff.
Yeah. But the key to that is to not let somebody else pay for what other people did to you. Having that emotional intelligence and healing from and understanding what the red flags were that you allowed to happen for you to get to that spot to get mad at it. That you stop it before it gets there. And therefore you use that intelligence to know, okay, he ain't doing that. Let me try this. Is he gonna act this way like this person did, or is he gonna act a different way?
Right. That's why I need to see everybody and see somebody in seasons. I need to see you in all four.
You better.
All four seasons.
You better. I gotta see you when you broke. I gotta see you when you up. I gotta see you when you down. I gotta see you when you
pissed off.
Yeah.
All of that. Are you the type to yell and
how you gonna talk to me?
I gotta hit something or something, or like because once you get to the point where you yelling at me, baby, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's when the coins come in. Well, that's when the points go in.
Yeah, I think it's also this misconception, like just in dating, like men have this this misconception, like women just like they want to be strong, they want to be the man. No, majority of us are not feminist. Okay, like we don't want to
live in a soft girl.
We want to be firm. Okay, like and this terrible misconception that black women just strong black women and we want to beat it. No, we don't. Actually,
perception versus
reality.
Because we really don't. We actually get pissed off watching every other woman from every other ethnicity and culture live this soft girl life, be taken care of, and we the ones that's
gotta work extra hard
on the back.
Like,
why I gotta suffer? Why you feel like they what you call it ain't worth suffering? It's just okay.
I was in the trenches with you, nigga.
They can't. You know what I'm saying? Let me take care of them, but you gotta work.
Yeah.
Excuse the hell out of me. What the difference between me and her?
Right.
I don't want to work neither.
Right.
Okay. I want to be a baby. I want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
All right. I want to relax. I want to just be able. What do you like? Whatever you like. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to whatever you like. Okay.
Right.
I want to do that too.
but we're also proof that it's men that's out there that's not like that. Right. And so it's just it's going through all these weeds to get
well,
to
tell
the
what you
green
call
grass.
your husband's defining for me, child. That's just defining me. Give me options.
Birds of a feather flock together.
I mean,
Y'all better find a
Literally,
friend.
I think it's
block 'em here.
and maybe I think it's honestly something that's very similar with the three of us. Is that number one? They came after a season of like trauma.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, from traumatic relationships. That's number one. Number two, they came when it was like, I ain't even looking for this shit no more.
I ain't even
Absolutely.
want a nigga.
No, I was done.
I'm just like,
I was done.
Bump that. That's not my focus. I'm not
Yeah.
focused on getting the
Yeah.
man.
It's just me and my
It is what it
kid.
is. Whenever he come, God let him be the one that I need him to be.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and number
What's
three,
curving everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And number three, the friendship.
Yeah.
We like I can like testify to say that we cultivated those friendships with our men.
Yeah.
Like when I say my man is my homie, lover, best friend.
That's
That's my dog.
Like, yeah, because like when shit go down at any point he is the first person that I call. I be like,
Yeah.
hey, guess what happened today? Let me give you the tea. I know he be tired of me sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
here she go with this
He don't
shit.
wanna hear that tea.
But he sit down and he listen.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and vice versa. You become that soft place for them.
Yeah.
And that's when I think you tap into a different place in a man when they can feel like they can be soft with you.
Yeah. When they can
Very
confide
true.
in you.
So do you feel like
Yeah.
y'all develop over a friendship first though? Or did the
Yes.
friendship just
Yes.
come after?
Yes.
Well, both.
We were friends first. And for me, like he wanted to wine and dine from the beginning, but I didn't want to. I wanted to go walk in the park. I wanted to talk and pick his brain because I had been in 2 abusive relationships.
Right.
And like he a big guy. I've always dated like slender, tall guys.
Yeah.
So I was like, I ain't gonna be able to play with him like that. Like I need
Right.
to know all about I wanted to pick his brain. And to
Right.
me, he was
Oh,
too
that's
good to
when
be
it's
true.
scary.
So
Yeah.
I was like a little detective. I ain't gonna lie. I was on Facebook. I was messaging everybody. He said,
Right.
this why y'all, what happened?
Right.
Because I was scared of dude. I really was. When he
Right.
first met me, he was like, you gonna be my wife. And I was like, you tripping.
Right. Oh, yeah, that
They
was
say men know.
You about to be my Montgomery.
And the
dude.
ones that
Is
do
what
it,
he was
right.
about to be.
Yeah,
and he
right.
was like, nah. He was like, nah, because I was dating multiple guys at one time
Right.
when I met my husband. And
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, no, I'm celibate. I was like, give me a kiss. He was like, no. I was like,
He on the back burner.
You're
I didn't believe him. I gave him a real hard time. I didn't believe him. So he like you was talking about taking like, you know, bricks and stuff. My first gift he gave me was a brick that he signed. And he said, I'm gonna show you better than I could tell you.
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
You know?
brick.
He gave her a brick.
That's he gave and we still have it. He
I
gave
love
me
it.
a
Oh my
brick
gosh,
and
that's
he
so
signed
beautiful.
it. I still have it. I'm gonna send y'all a picture.
Because I'm taking it
With a
break
Sharpie?
down
like,
by brick.
I'm going to with a Sharpie. He was like, I'm gonna brick. He said brick by brick.
God
I'm gonna
damn
break.
it.
He was like,
Break your
because I'm
wall.
gonna
That
take my
man
time with
smooth.
you. That man good. He was like, however long it's gonna take. However long it's gonna
That drink
take.
need to teach a class.
I was scared. I was scared. I was scared. Like we was married within 6 months. I was like, my mama gonna be mad.
Damn, Big
I was
Daddy
really
Drink.
scared. Yeah.
Lord, I see what you
scared
doing
for
for
real.
us.
Yeah. No.
I was scared.
And
But
the-
yeah, it had to be built.
You know what?
and
Maybe
so-
listen to what y'all saying. Maybe my season
Yeah.
coming. Cause child, I'm tired. I ain't even looking. I don't
And for-
see it no more.
for me,
'Cause all
it
these
was-
men hoes. Don't matter how old they is, child. My age, older they are, they just hoes.
Yeah.
But for me, it was both.
Yeah.
Like we did the wine and dining because when I met him, you know, we went out, but we also put that time in to become friends because we talked on the phone like little high schoolers. We went to sleep on the
Go to
phone
sleep on the phone.
and woke up and I'm hearing you snore and you wake up and then we saw each other after work because we found out we worked in the same building. So we meet up after work and just sit in the car talking and stuff like. So we did,
cute.
yeah, we did the same things. Like it was the friendship of it, but we were dating at the same time, and we wanted to be around each other, but couldn't be around each other all the time. So we were on the phone all the time. Like every break, I was calling him. Like it was just that development and stuff. So we had the foundational stuff, and it was quick for us too. Like it was like not even 10 months. We was looking for a house.
Yeah.
And like I told y'all one of the episodes, my house was my engagement ring, and it was a pretty big house.
Yeah.
So it was like, like
Check out the.
I was terrified because I was like, I'm gonna tell my mama I got a whole child now, and I'm like, I'm
We moving
introducing.
in.
Yeah, I'm introducing him and stuff, and we going out on little dates and stuff with her. But I'm like, we ain't even a year in and you proposing to me. Should I be afraid? Yeah. Buy me a house, a whole house, a mortgage.
Yeah.
And what I told my parents, I said, when I leave y'all house, I'm going to my house. Right. Didn't know how that was going to happen at all. And then for sure,
manifestation.
Yeah, I did. Like for sure, I went to my house with my now husband of almost 8 years.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Did you say yours? Because you said that y'all was friends. I'm just like,
you looking all right now.
Right. No, ours was like, it was like
I'm proud.
Intentionally, like I was just like, because when you go through so many different traumatic relationships and stuff like that, like, bro, like I'm not trying to date you for the sake of dating you.
Yeah.
So it was just like we both agreed that it was like, no, if we're gonna do this, like the friendship has to come first.
Yeah.
Like before the sexual
the friendship
piece, the everything. It's like, because at the end of the day, if we friends, and because in marriage there gonna be time I don't really fuck with you like that.
Yeah.
I don't like you like that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But that friendship always make it come back. It make it come back. Like you start falling back in love again. Because that homie lover friend is real. It's real shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, and so it literally every time
I don't drop some gems, y'all. We don't turn this into I really just asking for advice for myself.
it still falls
That's why I ask all these questions.
It still falls into the perception versus reality, because even when it's like you give maybe people will look at you and give the perception of, oh, this is the perfect couple, but no. On the inside of that perfect couple, we do go through periods where it be like, I don't like you.
It's the cycles.
Yeah.
You go through you go through marriage cycles.
Yes.
Like y'all go through this period where y'all
That is
are
the
just
reality.
roommates. And then y'all go through this period where y'all don't really talk for real.
Yes.
Then y'all go through this period where y'all are like lovey-dovey again.
Yeah.
Then y'all go through this period where y'all don't hardly talk again. It's like it's an onward spiral. But all the whole time you remember each day, I'm going to choose to love this person. You have to actively say that every single day. Regardless of what happens at the end of the day, I'm going to love this person regardless. And actively do that every day.
So question, did y'all because one thing for me, the numero uno right now, I understand friendship first. Like that's something that I've watched, especially with my sister, understanding that you definitely got to be friends.
Yes.
With your partner, right? And I realized I made that mistake in my previous relationship because we kind of built somewhat of a friendship along the way, but then realized I didn't really like that nigga like that. So, you know what I'm saying?
Well, when you think about it, most of us are
friends.
Most of us have, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
But most of us, when we think about our friends, we've been friends with our friends for forever. So it's something about a friendship that lasts a lifetime.
That makes sense.
You get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like
And
it's
your
so
friendship goes through
essential.
what?
Ebbs and flows. Absolutely.
Those cycles too.
Right. And you don't have to talk to your friends every day in order to still remain that status of a friend and all that. That's why I feel like that's so essential in like a relationship and damn sure in a marriage. You know, so back to what you were saying about the friends, if you remember.
But so what I was gonna say is like, so for me, my relationship with God right now is so important to me. And I'm very intentional about it. And it is the center of what is allowing me to grow and be a better woman, a better person, sister, human being, and everything. But what I recognize in that is what was definitely missing in other relationships is the person I was with was not remotely on the same level spiritually. So I recognize whoever I marry, they have to be just as intentional about having their own relationship with God as I am.
Absolutely, because
so that
you can't lead you if you don't know where you're going.
Right. I ensure that is a foundation. So did y'all consider that like before you got married, with your partners and stuff, the spiritual aspects? Because I get a friend, the social, the financial, all of that.
Yeah,
but
we definitely have to have that conversation of spirituality, period. Because even if you don't believe in God and Jesus and stuff, like you have to believe in something. You got to have some kind of religious belief, and it has to be in alignment with a higher power, I think.
Yeah.
And that's what me and my husband connected. It wasn't so much of we were church goers because I had started digressing from going to church as much, but I still have my spirituality, and it was having some spirituality and believing in some greater being that is bringing this together, and it's not just your own thoughts. Then you got self-centered, knowing that it's a greater power was very, very much so something that we discussed a lot, and we both were in alignment with.
I love that.
For us, so as I told y'all, he was celibate. So he had a relationship, but he wasn't like going to church and stuff. He had he was reading his scripture, Bible and stuff like that. And he had prayed because he had a child out of wedlock. They really disappointed him. So he was like, sex, I'm not really, because I don't want to have another child. And so when we met, we got baptized together, like in January, and then we got married in February. But I had kind of slacked off, as y'all know. I was thotting and bopping, I guess. That's what you call it. Yeah. So he kind of was like,
I don't do that no more, though.
And like when I broke his celibacy, and he was like, oh no, you gonna have to marry me.
Yeah.
You ain't about to get this thing and think you about to.
Okay.
He was like, you gonna have to marry me. I was like, okay. But we grow deeper into the Lord once we got together, and our journey started that we met in August. That January we had got baptized together, and we started our journey with the Lord together. So,
wow.
For me, literally, it was my husband's relationship with God that attracted me to him. Because I was like, literally, when we met, it was, we about to, because we're Muslim, and so we were at my uncle's in-laws' house, and he had come there to cut his brother's hair, and he came, and it was like, time for prayer, and I saw him go, and he did his ablution. He went, and he was like, I'll lead prayer today. And I said, let me go do my ablution.
Right.
Yes, allow Hakubar.
You got one of them.
Yeah. And he, like, my husband is like, he gets up, he reads his Quran. He is like, and it's like a man who follows God.
And you can see that, though. You can see that as I'm listening to you guys, and I know we're getting ready to wrap up the season, but when I listen to you guys and the respect that you guys have for your men, you can tell that they're God-fearing men. Yeah. Because when you're a God-fearing man, you treat your woman a certain way, period. Right. Yeah. Because you want to maintain that respect that you give to God, and you show that same thing in your household. Yeah. So it is easy for you guys to follow them because they're following Christ. Right. And they're acting in Christ-like ways, which allows them.
God. Yeah, God.
Well, yeah. Well,
they're following God.
Following God. I'm sorry. They're following the highest power.
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So I'm really, really happy to hear that for you guys. Like, for real, y'all. This has been one incredible season full of so many gems. Yeah. I promise you, if you didn't get an opportunity to listen to each and every episode, I am encouraging you to do that today. You got time today. The same way you binge watch on Netflix. Yeah, baby. Binge watch binge watch
real quick.
In the car, I promise in the shower, while you're getting dressed.
Yeah. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry.
You're going to be like, shoot, I need to go figure out to tell my daddy, what you told Drake when it was time?
Give me some nut.
Give me some nut.
Right. Like, it's going to be such a rewarding experience for you guys to just go back and watch. If it's your first time watching, rewatch it if you watched it before. But what we are asking you guys to do is to share. Okay? Like, there's no reason to be having this good old information just for yourself, honey. We need to share. Right. Yeah. Don't be selfish.
Tell your friends. And tell your friends to tell their friends.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
Yeah. Right. So we are looking forward for you guys to join us back next season.
Come on,
until then, we're going to tell you bye, sis.
Bye, sis.